Hello and welcome back to another KCC video. I'm Rob, and today we'll be jumping into ProRevenge. Before we start, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you know when the next video goes live. Our first story comes to us today from Draconian1429. Never bully your insurance company or you lose your franchise. Let's jump right in. This story comes from a friend of mine, Sarah, and has been building for almost 5 years until it all came crashing down over the last week. A few things to note before I get into it. Sarah works at an insurance company dealing with a massive nationwide delivery company. Her company insures all the delivery trucks. Over the years, Sarah had seen her fair share of anger from callers, mostly justified, or people letting off steam at the anonymous voice on the other end of the phone. She's learned not to take it personal. She absolutely despises the owner of one particular franchise depot, Dick. On to the story. We start in 2016. Dick is the franchisee of a vehicle depot for delivery company, meaning he's sort of an owner, but the company CEO could take away his ownership if they feel like it. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but as far as I understand, it's a fairly standard franchise contract, so anyone knows about these things should have a rough idea of what Dick has to do. Dick calls in for the first time to talk to Sarah about a claim one of his drivers is making. Something simple, reversed into a wall, minimal damage, but claiming to get the vehicle repaired. Dick starts ranting and screaming about how dare he and his driver be expected to pay an excess, standard. Sarah has dealt with people like this all her career, so she just deals with it as she always does. And so it continues for 2 years, with Dick bullying and abusing any call handler when he calls about a claim. It's annoying, and plenty of people have been brought to tears by it, but they can't stop serving him because he is responsible for dealing with his franchise's claims. It's now 2018, and Dick decides to get himself arrested. To give you an idea of just how stupid this man is, one of his drivers had been in a really bad accident. Nobody was seriously hurt, but the van was badly damaged. So while it was being repaired, Sarah organized a hire van. Dick goes to the hire company to collect the van, and he's asked to make a £1 payment by debit or credit card to secure the vehicle. I'm pretty sure it's so the hire company can just charge it for any damage caused while on hire, and is an industry standard in my country. Dick doesn't like this. He argues with the hire company. He threatens to dump the hire vehicle once he's finished with it. Finally, he punches the poor bloke working front desk. As previously stated, Dick gets arrested. Fast forward to a few months ago. Everyone is working from home, yay lockdown, and most people understand this. Everyone except Dick. He must be having a particularly bad day because his tantrum about how useless Sarah and her company is descends into personal insults. Sarah, having an equally bad day, decides that now is the moment she will get revenge on this guy for everything he has put every claim handler through. So she requests a copy of the recording of the call, all calls recorded for safety, complaints, and calling people out on their BS. She then sends this recording to 3 people. 1, her manager, saying she refuses to speak to Dick due to his abusive behavior. The rest of the team agree, and suddenly there is not a single claims handler willing to speak to this man. Manager says he will sort something. 2, Dick's boss, simply stating that his behavior is unacceptable, and the next time he tries to speak to someone at insurance company that way, they will end the call. 3, every listed CEO or board member of Dick's company. She wanted all of them to know just how vile this man was. Then, today, she gets the call she's been waiting for. A representative of delivery company has called, wanting to apologize for everything Dick put her and her team through. He also gives the best news. Dick has been downgraded from franchise owner to a lowly delivery driver. His lovely pay package, benefits, annual bonus, and company-funded car, a brand new Mercedes for anyone interested, have all been taken away. He now earns a little over minimum wage, 60-hour weeks to pay his bills, with his reputation in tatters. If he doesn't meet the standard for delivery drivers within the next 3 months, he'll be fired. Sarah also learned from someone she knows in the company that his wife is divorcing him because he told her she needs to get a job or they'll lose the house thanks to his sudden income drop. Sarah hasn't yet met the new franchisee, but if I know her, she'll make it clear that she's the one who ruined Dick's life and she isn't afraid to do it again if the new guy doesn't treat her and her colleagues with respect. Lesson: don't be a dick to call center employees. Wait a minute, a revenge story where the insurance company is the good guy? When does that ever happen? The only thing I disagree with in this whole story is the use of lowly delivery driver. We need those delivery drivers, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world. They are very hardworking people, and without them, we wouldn't be able to sit at home safely on our butts and order something online. I'm sure OP didn't mean it that way, but I just wanted to point it out. Our second story comes from Jean Grayson, Big Bang Theory with crows. Let's jump right in. Years ago, I drove a taxi in a small city. In the middle of town was a small park. Basically, it was a 2-block long oval. In the early 90s, it was a good place for a bit of mischief. There was a point in time where the city had an issue with crows. They would roost in that park by the thousands. They were thick enough to make some of the bigger branches bow. Several times while driving by that park, there were several kids throwing pebbles at cars. Our cabs were old police cruisers, so a mark in the paint wasn't really much the boss would complain about. After them hitting my cab 3 times already, I had had enough. Could I have went a different route to avoid them? Yes, but what fun is that? I asked my dispatcher if I could stop by my house and grab my box. I was told yes, so I got it and set it on the seat next to me. My next call to the part of town where I would go by the park, I did. I rolled down the window and lit a cig. As I make the part of the loop, I heard the distinct sound of pebbles hitting the cars. I got a black cat firecracker out of my box, touched the fuse to the cig, tossed out the window, and made an immediate right turn at the next street and floored it. With that loud bang, thousands of crows hit the air. For about 10 seconds, there was a hard rain of crow poop coming down that happened when the crews took flight from fear. The 3 kids didn't make it 10 feet before they were covered head to toe in bird poop. They were screaming for mom to do something about it. I heard her yell, "It serves you right for throwing rocks at cars." I had been at the stop sign waiting on cross traffic when she made them strip outside before they could go in and clean up. She called my dispatcher to say thanks, as she had been telling her kids to stop, but they wouldn't listen. And what I did was better than any punishment that she could have thought of. Well, those kids effectively learned that when you're doing crappy things to people, the shit will eventually hit the fan, or in this case, hit themselves. This was a perfect opportunity to be an entitled mother story or a Karen story, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that the mother was on board with the revenge. Our third story comes to us from Puzzle-Headed Dirt 78. Try to blackmail me? I'll ruin your life. Let's jump right in. Throwaway, because this could be a real problem for me career-wise if the phone sex company I work for found out. Also obligatory, I'm on mobile. Apology for formatting. This happened a few years ago. I was maybe 26 at the time. I am a trans man, but present feminine, and work as a professional dominatrix as a woman. I do a lot of work through a popular phone sex website. I had a client contact me on there and get my Skype ID. Sometimes clients want to cam chat there. It's not technically allowed by the site TOS, but they turned a blind eye because money, and he messaged me to negotiate a session. He complained about my rates, demanded I do stuff I'm not comfortable with. I don't get fully nude on cam calls. I don't talk about having clients touch me. I don't do sessions as a sub, and eventually threatened me with bad reviews and to report me to the site, and said I didn't want to show him my junk because I was a very nasty word for a trans woman. Ironic, I know. He called me every name in the book and I blocked him and thought nothing of it. I'd been with that site 5 years and made them hundreds of thousands over the course of them, so I wasn't worried. However, a little later, he pops up again with a new account and screen name a few days later. threatening violence and accusing me of stealing from him. I screen cap this and send it to the site. They say there's nothing they can do about him creating multiple accounts, but ban them as they occur. I block him again and think maybe he'll give up. Nope. A few days later, there's a new account that talks in the same tone, demands the same shit, etc. So this time, with all the usernames he's used, I take to Google, and what do I find but other PSOs who dealt with him complaining about him. I message some of them about what's happening, and one gets back to me super fast. She says he's been harassing her for years, telling her he hoped she'd have a miscarriage when she was pregnant, threatening her boyfriend. At this point, I'm furious, not only on my behalf, but on behalf of everyone else he's pulled this shit with. She tried to go to the cops, no help there, of course. But this idiot has given her a ton of personal info, from his full name to his address. I am a pretty good internet detective thanks to my line of work, so I start Googling and putting together info. I find everything, and I mean everything, from his mom's name, the date of his dad's death, to his girlfriend's name, to the shitty band he played in high school, where he works, and who his landlord is. I call everyone, politely informing them of what this little shit is up to. His mom, his girlfriend, his everybody. I call his girlfriend at work just to make sure she gets it. He contacts me on Kik, demanding a response and threatening to sue me for harassment. I laugh my ass off and explain how that doesn't work, and that if he contacts me again, I'll sue him for harassment and show him the statutes on it where we live. You have to tell the person to stop contacting you before it can be harassment. I told him multiple times to stop bothering me, but he'd only ever demanded that I do talk to him. After that, I did stop contacting him, but I gave all the info I dug up to the other PSOs to do with as they liked. Last I checked, he was living with his brother in a truly shitty looking apartment and tweeting about how no one will hire him because people are mean, and about how much he hates women. OP mentioned down in the comments, when I heard what he did to the pregnant chick, I was just like, I don't care how long it takes, I'm making sure he realizes there are consequences for treating people like this. A lot of guys think they can get away with treating us like this because a lot of people don't approve of what we do for a living and don't think of us as real people. So I try to make sure any of the dudes who try it learn as much of a lesson as I can give them. The sad part about this is that people like that aren't going to realize they're being taught a lesson, and they're just going to continue on with their crappy behavior, just directing it towards someone else. Thank you to all 3 OPs for posting in the ProRevenge subreddit. They are linked in the description down below. Please go check them out. Please check out one of these other videos, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories.